getting pretty meta.
It's getting super meta. Super meta. Oh boy.
What is it like to be on YouTube nowadays? Hey, what's up? We're here to talk Bandersnatch and whether it was worth watching, whether it was any good. Full spoilers. Don't keep watching if you haven't seen it yet. Did you like it? Audio sync. We'll figure it out one day. We will get the hang of this.
We'll get there. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. It was the most Netflix experience ever. Like it totally took.
You normally feel incredibly depressed and trapped in a maze when you're watching Netflix?
Absolutely, all the time.
And unfulfilled?
Unfulfilled, yeah. No, I thought it's like Charlie Brooker took what he was doing already with Black Mirror, and then just took it to like the next step. Like it's a feature-length film, standalone, multiple like endings, choose your own adventure,
self-referential.
Yeah, definitely.
Tying back to previous episodes.
And it's super meta.
It's super meta.
Super meta.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
Look, I ended up enjoying reading about it more than I enjoyed watching it. Because I felt like it was slow, it was depressing, looping back to previous decisions took too long, implementing your decision took too long, the guy is completely unlikable, it's depressing, it's tense, which maybe is the entire point of it. Like, Black Mirror is not supposed to leave you feeling happy. So if it left you feeling like helpless and and sad, then yeah, it succeeded.
So basically, like, so he's a guy who's a game developer, and he working on this game, which is an adaptation of this book that talks about, you know, multiple realities, multiple endings, timelines,
free will,
the questions of like, you know, do we choose our own direction? And then he wants to turn it into a video game, and through that process of turning it into a video game, he then becomes part of this super meta web about his life and his decisions and whether or not he's in control, or
what part we play in his story.
Exactly, and I think that was the really interesting thing, is that not only from the very beginning are we part of that process of where we get to choose what cereal he eats, what tape that he puts into his cassette while he's on the bus, to like whether he kills his dad or not.
And what we think are like minor and frivolous decisions actually have major effects on future like plot lines and endings. Did it need to be set in the 80s? Did that give it anything?
I think it was, I mean, I love the 80s. I love any kind of like 80s nostalgia.
I watched it straight after binging Stranger Things season 2.
No way.
So I was in some 80s like hallucination.
Hyperloop.
It was so much. But like, did it need to be?
I think it made it was interesting because it was like the way the game was being developed, all the coding, all that kind of stuff, I think made it seem a lot easier to tell the story.
Yeah. That one guy could do it by himself.
Yeah, on like one computer, where like the game was very simple to understand, and so it took away from, so like one of the endings is like fast forward to now, where another game developer is redesigning his game, and then she ends up falling into the same kind of like mind control thing, and she ends up like destroying the game. So that's one of the endings that you get at the end.
Have you seen the flowchart of all the, like they've mapped out?
The flowchart's insane.
Which is way more complicated than I thought it was.
Same, I thought there were like 4 or 5 endings, but apparently there's a lot. Apparently there's ones that, because I spent, how long did you spend all up?
I actually don't know. Like it was a blur.
Yeah.
To the point where like I was trying to like purposely sabotage the thing and like make it end.
Yeah, so you can get out.
Yeah, but I just took just as long as any other thing.
Because that's how I figured. Like that's when I realized that I was invested into the story. Is when I started spending time on the endings and being like, no, I don't want it to end yet. I want to go back and see what happens, and to see what other timelines there were. But also, I'm still not entirely sure what it was trying to say. With most Black Mirror episodes, like there's usually, sometimes it's a little bit ham-fisted in the way that it tries to like push a certain message.
Yeah, like social media is bad, or you know, like.
With this one though, I'm not entirely sure if there was a message, if there was like a direction.
Well, I think it was just trying to ask big questions.
Yeah.
And like, what role do we play, and what is free will, and all that kind of stuff, which is That's not what I'm watching Netflix for.
Right.
I'm trying to escape major questions about my existence by watching Netflix.
Oh no,
So-
that's the problem that I generally have with Black Mirror is that I can never watch more than one episode at a time because it's depressing and it's draining emotionally to watch those things. And to a certain point, I don't know why we watch it. I don't know why. I don't know why we do this to ourselves and what we get out of it, because it's just telling us what we already know. It's visualizing all of our social anxieties about the world as they are.
And feeding it back to us.
And feeding it back to us, and it's different because obviously it's built on the model of like the Twilight Zone and all this kind of stuff.
X-Files. And
Yeah, which to a large extent was science fiction, and you can detach yourself from it. Like there's a certain form of escapism that most sci-fi gives us. But with Black Mirror, it doesn't feel like escapism. It feels like it's just literally feeding on our anxieties. And I don't know if that's a healthy thing. It was enjoyable. It was entertaining.
1 time out of 10, it was fun.
1 time out of 10. But I haven't seen anybody else do that.
No, it was original.
Yeah.
I'll give it that. It was original. Would I recommend it? Not if you want to be happy. Would you recommend it?
I would recommend.
It's interesting.
I would recommend it because I think it's one of those things that like you just gotta experience it.
You just got to do it once.
Yeah.
You got.
Just do it once, and then just carve out like an extra hour into your.
Do it once so that you'll know what people are talking about when
Yeah.
they're talking about it. That's pretty much why I watched it.
And it's an interesting social experiment. Like,
Did you read the whole White Bear thing?
no,
Did you watch the White Bear episode?
no.
Cool.
Of Black Mirror?
Yeah, you would totally not understand what I'm talking about.
No.
All right, cool. 3 out of 5. I give 3 out of 5
I give it a 4 out of 5 just from
for effort.
novelty
Yeah.
kicks. But it's interesting. I'd say go check it out, and then let us know what you think. Let us know what your favorite ending was. What was your favorite ending out of all the horrible endings?
I mean, looking back, like just the ones where he makes like an average game but doesn't end up murdering his father. That's probably
Right.
an okay ending.
Did you get the?
I don't
ending?
even know if that was an actual ending though, because that makes you go back, right?
It makes you go back because it's kind of like a dead end.
Yeah.
Because your purpose in life in the game is to make this great game.
Yeah.
And maybe that's it. Maybe it's a commentary about like artistic expression and what we drive as a society our artists to do in terms of like reaching into the darkest parts of themselves in order to make something worthwhile.
It's getting pretty meta.
It's getting super meta. super meta. Oh boy.
What is it like to be on YouTube nowadays?
My favorite ending was.
That was a bleak laugh.
That was a very. It was a hollow laugh.
Save me from my YouTube prison.
Somebody get me out of here.